Okay, so the only reason why I'm sitting out here drinking water and I'm not out there having a cocktail is because I'm actually sick and on antibiotics. And that made me think I should probably do a video on a few things that you should know if you're going to visit a doctor in Taiwan. So first and foremost, let me clarify. When it comes to this video, I'm going to talk about visiting a GP or a small clinic, not a hospital. If you have a serious ailment that requires an MRI or an X-ray, of course you need to go to a hospital. If you have a flu, like I have, you can go to a smaller clinic or your local GP. And pertaining to this video, that's what I'm going to be talking about. The good news is most doctors in Taiwan speak English. You find a small clinic or a GP near where you live or where it's convenient for you. You do not have to make an appointment. You simply walk in, you give them your national health insurance card, which looks like this. It's a small little credit card, and it has on it your full name, your ID number, your birth date, which would be in Chinese years, lunar year. And then it has a chip, and this chip actually does contain some information, some health information, and everything is computerized. So if you go from one doctor to another, they can see what other doctors have prescribed you. I'm not going to talk too much about this card because I have actually done a video on the Taiwan National Health Insurance, which you should watch because there's a lot of things that you should know, a lot of benefits. I will mention just a few things. First of all, the price that you pay for this is a third of what your employer will pay. So they will pay 2/3 towards your national health insurance and you will pay the other third. I pay around about 1,200 to 1,400 NT dollars per month for my health insurance. Another thing, when you visit one of these small clinics, your local GP, there is a fixed rate of 150 NT, and I'm pretty sure that is across the board. You pay only 150 NT for a consultation, and that includes your medication, whatever you're prescribed. Most important thing that people don't know about the national health insurance is that you're also covered when you travel on this Taiwan's national health insurance. You need to go look up what documentation you need, but if you do fall ill in another country, you can come back and claim that on your Taiwan National Health Insurance. That's kind of an important thing that a lot of people don't know. So anyway, you walk into your local GP or the little clinic where you want to go. You hand them your health insurance card. They will register you, or you could just register yourself if you don't have a national health insurance card. The nurse at the clinic where I went said that with the consultation and the medication, the doctor will calculate what kind of medication you're prescribed, but she said it's usually less than 1,000 NT dollars. So even without the health insurance card, it's still quite affordable to see a doctor here. Then you get a number and you wait for your number to be called. The doctors here are quite old school. They have like the CD thing on the head, but they do very minimal, or most of the doctors that I've been to, I should say, do very minimal physical examination. So you need to be very precise with telling them what your symptoms are, etc., etc. Best case scenario is you know exactly what you need. For example, I used to get chronic tonsillitis, so I knew exactly what medication I needed. I know my GP for many years, so I would just go in and ask him for the medication. And if it's medication that's not flagged red in Taiwan, they probably will just prescribe it and give it to you. You can also, of course, ask for medication that's not covered in the health insurance card. There's sometimes, only certain medications are covered under the health insurance card. So you could suggest if there's something that he thinks is better for whatever you have, if there's something that's not covered, that you'd pay extra. And usually that extra payment is like 100 or 200 NT for a different kind of medication that's not covered. So you can also ask for other medication that's not in your health insurance card. So after you've done the examination and talked to the doctor, he's going to type a bunch of stuff on a computer, and then he's going to send you out. At this point, you'll go get your medicine. It's really important at this point to know that you should ask questions. So when you go out, the nurse or the pharmacy where you pick up your pills, they will tell you how to take the pills, but they probably won't change anything. So before you leave the doctor, I suggest that you start asking some questions. They're actually quite nice. They'll answer all the questions that you have. But unfortunately, the doctors here are very trigger happy with medication, especially antibiotics. So when you're sitting with the doctor, when you're still with him, and he's typing away, and just ask him, you know, what medication are you going to prescribe me? Could you tell me what they are, what they're for, and the purpose, etc., etc. For example, when I just went, he went on and he put a bunch of stuff on there, and I just said, no, you can take that off, and you can take that off, because it's stuff like aspirin and stuff like that you really don't need. And even I got antibiotics this time, but I specifically asked him why I needed it, and he explained the infection that I have and that requires antibiotics. But very often they'll say, oh, you don't want antibiotics, okay, we won't give it to you, as if it wasn't necessary to begin with. So before you leave the doctor's office, make sure that you've asked all the questions of the medication that you're getting and why you're getting it, and if it's necessary that you should get it. You don't have to take a huge abundance of drugs every time you go to the doctor. I'll also mention if you are sensitive to caffeine, or if you get easily drowsy, you know, a lot of cough medicine and stuff has stuff in it that makes you drowsy, so make sure that you mention that. I always say that I don't want anything that makes me drowsy because I drive a car, and I'm very sensitive to caffeine, so if I'm going to take something at night and there's caffeine in it, I'm most definitely not going to sleep. So mention all of that stuff as well. Right, now you've spoken to the doctor, you know you're getting the right medication, so you walk out of the doctor's office. Some of the doctors have a little dispensary, a pill dispensary in their office, and sometimes there's a pharmacy right next door where you go and get it. Same kind of procedure, you give them your health card and they'll give it to you. Then you get something like this. It's a little packet and your name is on here. It says how many days of medication you have, excuse me, how many days of medication you have, etc., etc. Now this is the really cool part. In Taiwan, they dispense your medicine like this. It's like little sachets. Little sachets, and these are your per time that you have to take it pills. So mine, this is actually for 1 day. It's 4. I have to take 4 of these packs in 1 day. So this would be 1 helping, and this is another one. This is another one. This is another one. I'm going to tear this open and just show you how cool this really is. So they pre-pack it for you, right? Okay, so if I put this on my hand, I'm going to show you even the pills. So all of this stuff, by the way, is for like bronchial and chest-related infection, etc., etc., to relieve cough and mucus, etc., etc. But as you can see, even sometimes they will give you a half pill, and that's all measured out and put in this little sachet, which I think it's really cool that they have this system and they can do it like this. I'm not going to take these right now because I've just actually taken my morning pills, so I'm going to throw these back in here. And then I want to show you what else is in this packet. In my case, I unfortunately also had to get antibiotics. So the antibiotics he packed in a different packet because I have to take them only 3 times a day, and that's that one. That was the whole negotiation with him on whether or not I needed it, which I did need. And then he gave me this, which is exactly what I've just mentioned. These are like, I don't know, some kind of painkiller or something, which you can see I've taken none of them and I don't plan to take any of them. So even though I've had this long negotiation with the doctor, I still got a whole bunch of stuff that I really don't need. In addition to that, you also get a little paper that lists your medication in English and in Chinese, and you can go look it up if you're not sure which one is what, but they'll tell you as well. The best part about Taiwan's medical system, besides the cost effectiveness of it, is the fact that you can change doctors. A lot of people are not aware of this, so you can go and literally shop around for a doctor. I've been here for a long time, and my GP is very close to my house in Xindian, and then I have a neurologist in Ankang. I have a dermatologist in Dazhi, and my gynecologist is in Yonghe, and it has taken quite a few years to find them. So if you do go to a doctor and you don't like them, regardless if it's at a hospital or clinic or wherever, you can go change your doctor. You're not stuck with the doctor that you've gone to for the first time.